What if everything you believe about your limits is wrong? What if the barriers you see around you, those invisible walls holding you back, are not real? These limits you feel, the ones whispering doubts and fears, the boundaries you think define who you are, they're often nothing more than stories your mind has told itself. Stories built from past failures, harsh judgments, and the voices of others who told you what you couldn't do. But what if you could see through those stories and realize they have no power unless you give it to them? Imagine for a moment that the only thing standing between you and the life you dream of is this one belief, that you are limited. It's easy to feel trapped when you believe limits are fixed and unchangeable. But the truth is, those limits are not facts. They are shadows cast by fear, doubt, and habit. When you start to question those beliefs, you begin to see the space beyond them, the space where your true potential waits, untouched and vast. You might feel a flicker of hope. What would it mean if you could break free? If you could wake up every day knowing that nothing holds you back except the choices you make in that moment? This is the moment when everything shifts, because understanding this opens a door to a new reality. A reality where your potential is not a fixed quantity, but a horizon expanding with every step you take. Think about how often you have stopped yourself, held back by thoughts like, I can't, I'm not good enough, or this is impossible for me. Those thoughts are powerful because you believe them, but they are not truth. They are habits of thinking, patterns that have been repeated so many times that they feel permanent. Yet every belief is a choice. You can choose to hold on to them, or you can choose to challenge them. When you challenge those beliefs, you activate something powerful inside you, a spark of courage that lights the way beyond what you thought possible. And here's the most important part. This is not about becoming someone new. It's about uncovering who you already are beneath the layers of doubt. If you stay with this video, you will discover how to recognize these false limits and how to dismantle them one by one. You will learn how to tap into the energy that comes from believing in yourself and how to turn that energy into action. Imagine the freedom of moving through life with confidence, knowing your potential is unlimited. Imagine waking up each day with a fire inside that pushes you forward even when challenges arise. That freedom and fire are yours for the taking. They're waiting on the other side of the limits you believe in now. So take a deep breath and know this. The first step toward unlocking your true potential is simply understanding that your limits are not set in stone. They are stories you can rewrite. And as you listen, you'll find the keys to begin that transformation right now. Your future self is already waiting, ready to break through. Are you ready to step beyond limits and become who you were meant to be? The journey begins here. Belief is the invisible force that shapes everything you do. It molds your choices, colors your perception, and ultimately defines the limits you accept or refuse. When you believe deeply in your ability to grow, to improve, and to overcome, your mind unlocks resources that you never thought you had. But when belief is weak or missing, even the simplest challenges can feel insurmountable. Imagine your belief as the foundation beneath every action you take. If that foundation cracks, your entire world feels unstable. This is why what you believe about yourself is far more powerful than any skill, talent, or external circumstance. It's the engine driving your persistence, your courage, and your willingness to keep moving forward even when the road is rough. Right now, you might be wrestling with quiet doubts that undermine your confidence. These doubts are not accidental. They have been planted through years of experiences, negative voices, and moments when you allowed fear to silence your potential. But these doubts are not who you are. They are echoes of old programming, patterns you inherited or absorbed without realizing. The power you need lies in changing what you believe at the core. Because when you shift your beliefs, you shift your reality. Suddenly, obstacles become opportunities, failures become lessons, the impossible begins to feel possible. Belief is not some vague, abstract concept reserved for the lucky or naturally gifted. It's a skill that can be cultivated and strengthened like a muscle. When you learn to build belief, you gain a reservoir of inner strength that fuels every decision you make. Science shows that people who have high self-efficacy, belief in their ability to succeed, face challenges with resilience, bounce back faster from setbacks, and achieve far more than those who doubt themselves. This belief creates a feedback loop. As you take small actions and succeed, your belief grows stronger. With every step forward, you rewrite the story you tell yourself about what you are capable of. It is crucial to realize that the beliefs holding you back are not truths written in stone. They are assumptions that you have the power to question and change. You don't have to accept the limits others impose on you or the limits you have internalized. Every belief that restricts you can be replaced with one that empowers you. This shift doesn't happen by magic. It happens through deliberate focus and commitment. It happens when you choose to challenge the voice that says I can't and replace it with I will try. It happens when you surround yourself with evidence of your strength and resilience, even in small ways every single day. Imagine what life would be like if you truly believed in your capacity to grow beyond every barrier. How would you approach your goals differently? How would you treat setbacks? How much more would you be willing to risk to learn and to become? That belief is the fuel that will carry you beyond limits you never thought you could pass. When you decide to nurture this belief, you take control of your journey. You stop waiting for permission or proof from the outside world. Instead, you claim your power from within and move forward with unstoppable force. Right now, make a silent promise to yourself to protect and build your belief like the precious resource it is. Watch how this simple shift changes everything. Your true potential is waiting for you, unlocked by the belief that you are worthy, capable, and unstoppable. Fear is not the enemy. It is the signal pointing you toward growth. When you feel your heart race or your body tense, it is your mind telling you that you are stepping beyond what feels safe and familiar. This discomfort is not meant to stop you. It is a marker that you are on the edge of transformation. Most people mistake fear for a warning to retreat, but true courage is acting in spite of fear. Every time you face fear, you stretch the limits of what you believe is possible. The brain's natural response is to protect you by triggering fight, flight, or freeze reactions. Yet, with awareness and practice, you can learn to override that automatic response. You can choose to move forward, even when fear screams otherwise. This is how boundaries dissolve. This is how you push beyond limits you once thought were immovable. Fear's power lies in its ability to immobilize you through doubt and hesitation. It feeds on your uncertainty and magnifies the voices that tell you not yet, not good enough, or too risky. But these are lies disguised as caution. The truth is that fear thrives in the absence of action. The moment you take a step forward, no matter how small, you diminish fear's grip. This is why the bravest thing you can do is simply start. Start moving toward what scares you most. Start facing the discomfort instead of avoiding it. Start building muscle memory for courage through consistent action. With each small victory, your brain rewires itself, creating new pathways that make fear less intimidating, less paralyzing. Imagine what happens when you shift your relationship with fear from seeing it as a barrier to recognizing it as a guide. You begin to welcome fear as a sign that you are on the right path, that you are growing, that you are evolving. This mindset transforms fear from a cage into a compass. Suddenly, fear is not something to escape, but something to understand and harness. It becomes fuel for your transformation, a powerful energy driving you forward rather than holding you back. The courage to face fear is not a rare gift. It is a skill that can be developed with intention and practice. Every time you confront what scares you, you build resilience, a deeper sense of confidence that no challenge can shake. This resilience is the foundation of your true potential. It is the force that carries you through moments of doubt, setbacks, and uncertainty. Fear may still arise, but it no longer controls your choices. Instead, you respond with strength, clarity, and purpose. This is the moment to embrace fear not as an enemy, but as a teacher. To move through the discomfort, knowing it signals growth. To realize that every step you take into fear is a step beyond limits. Your potential expands with every courageous action you take. The boundaries you once saw begin to blur and fade. And in that space beyond fear, your true self emerges, stronger, wiser, and ready to claim the limitless life waiting for you. You are not meant to live small. You are not meant to shrink in the face of fear. You are meant to rise, to challenge, and to conquer. Every moment you hesitate is an opportunity to practice courage. Every time you choose action over fear, you rewrite your story. So now choose to step forward or choose to move beyond fear, beyond doubt, beyond limits. The power to transform your life is within you, waiting for you to take that first bold step. Change does not come from grand gestures or sudden leaps. True transformation is born in the quiet moments, the small victories that pile up day after day. Every choice you make to keep moving, even when the path feels unclear, builds momentum that cannot be stopped. Momentum is the secret force behind all breakthroughs. It is the energy created when action meets intention repeatedly, creating a cycle of progress that grows stronger with time. You may underestimate the power of starting small, but science and experience show that consistent, tiny steps reshape your brain and your reality far more effectively than one massive push ever could. Each small win builds confidence and creates a ripple effect, lighting a fire within you that grows brighter with every success. When you focus on small wins, you create evidence for your mind to believe in. Doubt begins to lose its grip as you accumulate proof that you can succeed. These wins, no matter how minor they seem, shift your identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who takes action, who overcomes challenges, who is capable of growth. This shift in self-perception is crucial because who you believe you are shapes everything you do. The more you see yourself as a person who conquers obstacles, the more you act like one. This feedback loop propels you forward. Success becomes not a distant dream, but a habit, a natural state you create with each small effort. Often the challenge is not the size of the goal, but the pressure to achieve it all at once. This pressure can paralyze, making limits feel more real and insurmountable. But when you break your goal into manageable pieces and celebrate each step, you protect yourself from overwhelm. You build resilience and confidence, knowing that progress is happening, even if it is gradual. This process rewires your brain to seek out opportunities for growth rather than retreat from challenges. It transforms fear and doubt into curiosity and determination. Imagine your potential as a muscle that grows stronger with use. The more you move, the more your strength and endurance increase. Each small win is like a rep in your training, building capacity for greater achievements. This is how you unlock reserves of power you never knew you had. The key is consistency, not perfection. Showing up every day, doing the work, even when motivation wanes or obstacles appear. This simple act of persistence reshapes your mind and body to support your goals. It creates a foundation so solid that nothing can shake it. Momentum also breeds courage. When you see what you can accomplish, fear loses its grip. You become willing to take bigger risks, face greater challenges, and expand your vision. This is the cycle that propels you beyond limits. It starts with one small win, one deliberate action, one moment of courage. From there, everything builds. The person you are becoming is forged through these repeated acts of progress. You have the power to create unstoppable momentum in your life. Every choice to take action, no matter how small, pushes you further beyond limits. The fire of your potential grows brighter with each step, so start now. Choose the smallest action that moves you forward. Celebrate it. Then take the next. Momentum is yours to command, and it will carry you to a life beyond what you imagined possible. Your brain is not fixed. It is alive, flexible, and capable of remarkable change. This means the limits you think are permanent can be rewritten. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself, offers hope that no matter your age or past, you can grow new pathways to success and strength. Every thought you have, every action you take shapes the structure of your brain. This is not just theory, it's science proving that change is possible and ongoing. Understanding this gives you power. It means that the mindset and habits that once held you back can be replaced with new patterns that propel you forward. Your potential is not predetermined. It is created moment by moment through the choices you make. This knowledge alone should ignite a sense of freedom. You are not a victim of your history or your biology. Your brain adapts, rewires, and evolves when you challenge it. Every time you choose positive thoughts over negative ones, you strengthen new neural connections. Every time you act in alignment with your goals, you reinforce the brain's pathways for success. Over time, these new patterns become your default. This is how transformation becomes permanent. It is not a quick fix, but a commitment to daily intentional effort. The reward is a mind trained to see opportunity, to embrace challenges, and to believe in endless possibility. Imagine breaking free from the mental traps that kept you stuck for years. Imagine a brain wired for resilience instead of fear, for confidence instead of doubt, for growth instead of stagnation. This is within reach because your brain's plasticity means that change is happening right now, even if you don't see it yet. Each positive decision, each step forward, rewrites your internal script. With this awareness, you become the architect of your own transformation. You build the neural foundation for the life you want by the habits you choose today. This process requires patience and consistency. Old pathways will resist because they are familiar and comfortable, even if they limit you. That resistance is natural and temporary. The brain prefers what is known, but it also craves new experiences when given a chance. The key is to keep pushing through discomfort and uncertainty, knowing that each act of persistence builds new, stronger connections. Your brain rewards effort and repetition with growth. This growth shows up as increased mental strength, better focus, and an expanded capacity for success. You have the power to unlock your true potential through this rewiring. It begins with awareness, recognizing that your current limits are not fixed realities, but patterns you can change. Then it moves into action, choosing thoughts, behaviors, and habits that support your growth. Over time, these choices compound, creating a new you, stronger, wiser, more capable than ever before. The moment you realize this is the moment your limits begin to dissolve. Your potential unfolds like a map waiting to be explored, and your brain is the compass guiding you there. This knowledge is your invitation to act, to make each moment a choice toward growth, to embrace the power within you to rewire your mind and step beyond every limit you once believed was permanent. The path to transformation is yours to create, and the first step is simply believing that change is possible, because it is. Your environment shapes more than just your surroundings. It shapes your mindset, your habits, and ultimately your potential. The people you surround yourself with, the places you spend your time, and the energy you absorb daily influence the limits you accept or refuse. Toxic environments breed doubt, fear, and complacency. Positive environments, on the other hand, ignite growth, resilience, and courage. If you want to break free from limits, it is essential to examine the world you live in and how it feeds your beliefs. Change your environment, and you change your internal landscape. This is a powerful lever in unlocking your true potential. Your mind constantly absorbs cues from the environment, often unconsciously. Negative influences, whether harsh words, unsupportive relationships, or draining situations, create a mental cloud that obscures your vision of possibility. When you are surrounded by doubt and limitation, it becomes easier to believe those lies yourself. But imagine replacing that cloud with clear air, where encouragement, support, and inspiration flow freely. When your environment uplifts rather than weighs you down, your thoughts shift, your confidence rises, and your drive accelerates. This is not mere optimism. It is a scientifically proven effect of surrounding yourself with positive, growth-oriented influences. You don't have to control every aspect of your environment, but you can control where you direct your focus. You can choose to seek out people who believe in you, challenge you, and push you to grow. You can fill your mind with ideas that expand your vision instead of shrink it. When you align your external world with your internal goals, you create a feedback loop that reinforces your commitment to growth. This alignment is a foundation for breaking through barriers that once seemed unbreakable. This process often requires courage. Courage to leave behind what no longer serves you, to set boundaries with people or situations that limit your growth. It demands the willingness to seek new spaces and communities where your potential can flourish. This may feel uncomfortable at first because it challenges your patterns and forces you out of your comfort zone. Yet discomfort is the price of transformation. Every brave choice you make to curate your environment feeds your self-belief and pushes you closer to the life you desire. The energy you consume daily directly impacts your ability to push past limits. Negative news, toxic conversations, and self-defeating habits drain your mental and emotional reserves. On the other hand, exposure to uplifting ideas, supportive connections, and healthy routines replenishes your strength and sharpens your focus. This is why growth is not just a mental game, it is a holistic experience. Your surroundings fuel your mind and spirit. The environment you cultivate either cages your potential or frees it. You have the power to choose what influences shape your reality. By consciously designing an environment that nurtures courage, belief, and momentum, you reinforce your commitment to go beyond limits. The right environment becomes a powerful ally, amplifying your progress and holding you accountable. It creates a space where your potential is not only possible, but inevitable. This is where transformation takes root, grows, and blossoms into a life that exceeds your highest expectations. Take ownership of your environment today. Seek out what fuels your growth and eliminate what holds you back. The world you create around you will mirror the world you create within. When your environment aligns with your vision, you unlock a force inside you that can shatter every limit and unleash your true potential. Discipline is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. It is not about harsh rules or punishment. It is about consistent commitment to the actions that lead you beyond limits. Discipline is what keeps you moving forward when motivation fades, when distractions pull at your attention, and when your mind tempts you to settle for less. It is the daily choice to show up for yourself even when the path feels difficult or progress seems invisible. This steady, unshakable dedication creates the foundation for lasting transformation. Without discipline, potential remains dormant, a flicker that never ignites into flame. Your mind naturally resists discipline because it demands effort and sacrifice. It prefers comfort, ease, and instant gratification. This resistance is normal, but it is also a lie designed to keep you stuck. The truth is that discipline frees you. It gives you control over your actions and your future. When you commit to discipline, you no longer react impulsively or fall prey to fleeting desires. Instead, you align your daily habits with your deepest goals. This alignment transforms your life from chaos to purpose. Discipline is the quiet force that turns dreams into reality. Discipline does not mean perfection. It means persistence. It means forgiving yourself when you stumble and recommitting immediately. It means understanding that setbacks are part of the process, not a signal to quit. This mindset is critical because it allows you to stay the course without being derailed by temporary failures. When you embrace discipline as a form of self-respect rather than punishment, you tap into a source of inner power that sustains you through challenges. This power is what separates those who merely wish for change from those who create it. The key to building discipline lies in structure and focus. By designing clear routines and rituals, you remove decision fatigue and conserve willpower. When you automate positive habits, discipline becomes a natural rhythm rather than a constant battle. Each disciplined choice reinforces your identity as someone who follows through, someone who refuses to be limited by excuses or distractions. Over time, these choices accumulate, creating unstoppable momentum that propels you forward even on the hardest days. Imagine how your life would shift if discipline became your default mode. How much closer would you be to your goals? How much stronger would your belief in yourself grow? Discipline is the tool that carves your potential out of raw possibility. It transforms vague hopes into concrete achievements. When you commit to discipline, you take control of your story and write it with intention and power. This commitment requires courage. The courage to prioritize your growth over comfort, to choose the hard path over the easy one, and to keep going when the world tempts you to stop. But with each act of discipline, you strengthen the muscle of perseverance. You build a character that no obstacle can break and no limit can contain. Your discipline is your daily declaration that you are worth the effort, that your dreams deserve your dedication, and that your true potential is non-negotiable. It is the foundation upon which your limitless future stands. So choose discipline, or choose consistency. Choose the relentless pursuit of your highest self. The life beyond limits awaits those who commit to the journey with unwavering resolve. Belief is the invisible force that shapes every action you take and every limit you accept. It lives deep inside you, quietly guiding your decisions and coloring your perception of what is possible. When belief is strong, it fuels courage, perseverance, and a relentless drive toward your goals. When belief falters, doubt creeps in, and limits feel immovable. Understanding the power of your beliefs is essential to unlocking your true potential. They are not fixed truths, but mental habits that can be changed, strengthened, and rewired through intentional focus. Your beliefs either confine you or set you free. Belief is not about blind optimism or wishful thinking. It is rooted in the evidence you build through experience, in the small wins that reinforce your identity as someone capable and worthy. When you cultivate belief, you create a foundation of trust in yourself. This trust becomes a shield against fear and uncertainty. It allows you to face challenges with confidence because you know that you have the strength and resilience to overcome them. Without belief, your potential remains locked behind a door you are too afraid to open. With belief, that door swings wide open. The journey to stronger belief begins with awareness, recognizing the stories you tell yourself about your limits and potential. These stories shape your reality far more than you realize. Negative beliefs act like chains, holding you back from taking risks, trying new things, or persisting through difficulty. But these chains can be broken. When you challenge the negative narratives and replace them with empowering truths, you change your internal world. This shift rewires your brain to seek growth rather than safety, courage rather than comfort. Belief is also contagious. The energy you project influences how others see you and how you see yourself. When you believe deeply in your ability to grow and succeed, you radiate confidence. This attracts opportunities, support, and resources that further propel you beyond limits. On the other hand, self-doubt can create a feedback loop of missed chances and stagnation. Choosing to nurture belief is choosing to break that cycle and step into a life of possibility. Building belief requires intentional practice. Affirming your strengths, celebrating progress, and visualizing your success all contribute to strengthening this inner force. Surrounding yourself with positive influences that reinforce your worth and potential further fuels your belief. It is a process of daily commitment to speak to yourself with kindness and conviction, even when doubt whispers otherwise. Over time, this rewiring creates a new identity, one where limits are merely challenges to overcome, not barriers to stop you. The power of belief lies in its ability to transform your mindset from scarcity to abundance, from fear to courage, from limitation to expansion. It fuels the perseverance needed to keep going when the road is tough and the destination seems distant. Belief becomes the fire that sustains your journey beyond limits. You have the ability to cultivate this belief right now. Choose to see yourself as capable of growth and success. Choose to trust in your strength and resilience. Choose to believe that your true potential is waiting to be unlocked. With belief as your foundation, there is no limit to what you can achieve. Your transformation begins when you decide to believe in yourself fully and without hesitation. Action is the language of transformation. Without it, dreams remain distant ideas. Potential stays hidden, and limits persist unchallenged. Action turns belief into reality and intention into progress. It is not the grand, dramatic moves that create lasting change, but the deliberate steps taken consistently and with purpose. Action breaks the paralysis of fear and doubt. It silences the inner critic by proving that you are capable of movement, growth, and resilience. The power of action lies in its ability to disrupt old patterns and build new possibilities. Every action you take, no matter how small, sends a message to your mind and body. Change is happening, and you are in control. This message rewires your brain, strengthens your confidence, and expands your vision of what you can achieve. When you act, you create momentum that fuels further action. Momentum is a powerful force that pushes you beyond hesitation and resistance. It transforms uncertainty into clarity and fear into courage. Without action, potential remains a concept. With action, it becomes your reality. The challenge is often not knowing where to start or feeling overwhelmed by the magnitude of the journey ahead. The solution is simple yet profound. Begin with what is within your reach. Small, intentional actions compound over time into monumental shifts. This principle is backed by psychology. Consistent behaviors reshape your habits and identity. When you choose to act, you are not just completing tasks, you are building a new version of yourself. Each step forward strengthens your resolve and deepens your commitment to the person you are becoming. Action also bridges the gap between your current self and your future self. It creates alignment between who you are today and who you want to be tomorrow. This alignment is essential for transformation because it reduces internal conflict and increases motivation. When your actions reflect your highest goals and values, you cultivate integrity within yourself. This integrity fosters self-respect and fuels further progress. Taking action becomes an act of honoring your potential and refusing to settle for less. Fear and doubt often masquerade as valid reasons to delay or avoid action. Yet these emotions are signals, not stop signs. They indicate growth is on the horizon and challenge is unavoidable. Choosing action despite fear is the hallmark of those who break through limits. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward anyway. Each act of courage, each moment of decisive action, weakens the hold of fear and strengthens your confidence. This cycle builds unstoppable momentum. Your potential is unlocked in the moment you choose to act. It is the bridge from possibility to reality. Action creates clarity where confusion once reigned and opens doors where walls seemed impenetrable. It turns vision into experience and intention into accomplishment. When you commit to consistent, purposeful action, you embody the truth that limits exist only to be overcome. Right now, make the choice to act, or choose the smallest step that moves you forward and take it with conviction. Let that action be your declaration that your potential is real and your transformation inevitable. Action is your greatest ally on the journey beyond limits. Embrace it fully and watch your true potential unfold. Progress is not always visible, and growth rarely happens in a straight line. This truth can be discouraging, but it is also the very foundation of lasting transformation. The invisible shifts, the subtle rewiring of your mind, the quiet strengthening of your resolve, build the framework for breakthroughs that will eventually redefine your limits. Understanding that progress is often slow, uneven, and full of setbacks empowers you to stay committed even when results seem distant or unclear. This patience, combined with relentless effort, is what turns potential into reality. It's easy to become frustrated when progress doesn't meet expectations or when obstacles appear insurmountable, but frustration signals a critical moment, the choice between giving up or pushing deeper. Each challenge is an opportunity to test your commitment, to refine your strategies, and to prove your resilience. Growth is not about perfection, it's about perseverance through imperfection. The most successful transformations come from those who continue despite difficulty, trusting that every step, no matter how small, is a piece of the larger journey. Your mind craves certainty, but transformation lives in uncertainty. The path beyond limits is rarely clear or easy. It requires you to embrace discomfort and ambiguity, knowing that these experiences expand your capacity and deepen your understanding of yourself. When you lean into uncertainty instead of resisting it, you create space for new possibilities to emerge. This mindset shift allows you to see obstacles not as barriers, but as necessary catalysts for growth. The struggle itself becomes part of the transformation process, not a detour from it. Recognizing that progress is a process frees you from the pressure to be perfect or to achieve everything at once. It invites you to focus on consistent effort over dramatic results. When you commit to daily actions, even if small, you build momentum that compounds over time. This momentum creates a sense of forward movement that sustains motivation and cultivates confidence. Over time, the accumulation of these efforts reshapes your identity and your reality. You become someone who acts, who grows, and who refuses to be limited. This understanding also invites compassion for yourself and for the journey you are on. Transformation is not a race or a competition. It is a deeply personal evolution. There will be moments of doubt, fatigue, and setback. These moments are natural and necessary. Treat them as signals to pause, reflect, and adjust, not as reasons to quit. Self-compassion nourishes resilience, allowing you to return to your path with renewed energy and clarity. It strengthens your inner foundation, making you less vulnerable to external challenges. Progress is the rhythm of transformation. It demands trust in the unseen, faith in the process, and commitment to the journey beyond immediate results. Your potential unfolds in this space between effort and reward, struggle and breakthrough, patience and action. When you embrace progress as a process, you honor the complexity of growth and prepare yourself for lasting change. Every step forward, no matter how small or unseen, is a victory. Celebrate these moments. Let them remind you that you are moving beyond limits, reshaping your life and unlocking your true potential. Keep going. Your transformation is unfolding now in every effort and every breath. Your environment shapes your reality more than you realize. It silently influences your thoughts, habits, and ultimately your potential. When you surround yourself with negativity, distraction, or doubt, those energies seep into your mind and limit your capacity to grow. But when you intentionally create a space that nurtures your goals, supports your growth, and reflects your highest aspirations, you empower yourself to move beyond limits. The people you spend time with, the information you consume, and the physical space you inhabit all act as mirrors and magnifiers of your inner world. This is why curating your environment is not a luxury. It's a necessity for transformation. The energy around you can either fuel your determination or drain it. It can either reinforce limiting beliefs or challenge them. To unlock your true potential, you must become the architect of your surroundings, crafting a daily atmosphere that propels you toward your vision. This means seeking out positivity, encouragement, and inspiration, and minimizing exposure to anything that undermines your confidence or distracts from your path. Changing your environment often requires difficult decisions. You may need to distance yourself from people who no longer support your growth, or remove habits and routines that do not align with your goals. These choices can feel uncomfortable, even lonely, but they are acts of self-respect and courage. They communicate to your subconscious mind that your transformation is non-negotiable and that you value your potential enough to protect it fiercely. The environment you create also includes the mental and emotional space you occupy. This means managing your thoughts, emotions, and internal dialogue with the same care as your external world. Negative self-talk, unresolved fears, and toxic beliefs act like pollutants in your mental environment, clouding your vision and sapping your energy. Cultivating mindfulness, gratitude, and positive affirmations cleanses this inner space, making it fertile ground for growth and resilience. When your internal environment is healthy, you are better equipped to handle challenges and maintain unwavering focus. Small changes in your environment ripple out into profound shifts in your mindset and behavior. A clutter-free space can lead to a clearer mind. Positive conversations can spark new ideas and motivation. Consistent exposure to inspiring content fuels belief and determination. These seemingly minor adjustments accumulate, creating a powerful ecosystem that supports your journey beyond limits. Remember, you are not a product of your environment, you are its creator. This realization is empowering because it places the power squarely in your hands. No matter your circumstances, you have the ability to transform your surroundings to serve your highest self. This act of creation is itself a powerful step beyond limits. It shows that your potential is not dictated by where you start, but by the environment you choose to build. Commit to shaping your environment with intention and courage. Choose influences that elevate you, spaces that inspire you, and thoughts that empower you. Your environment is the silent partner in your transformation. When it aligns with your vision and values, it becomes a force multiplier for unlocking your true potential. Create this environment deliberately and watch as your limits begin to dissolve. Discipline is the bridge between desire and achievement. It is the quiet, steady force that transforms fleeting motivation into lasting progress. Without discipline, even the strongest intentions dissolve in the face of distractions, discomfort, and doubt. But with discipline, you create the structure and consistency necessary to move beyond limits day after day, no matter how you feel. Discipline is not about rigid control or punishment. It is about honoring your commitment to yourself and your potential. It is the choice to act in alignment with your goals, even when the initial excitement fades. True discipline arises from clarity and purpose. When you deeply understand why your goals matter, discipline becomes a form of self-respect and love. It is the promise you make to yourself to keep showing up, to keep pushing forward regardless of obstacles. This promise grounds you in the present moment, allowing you to focus on what you can do now rather than being overwhelmed by the entirety of the journey. Discipline simplifies the complex path to transformation by breaking it into manageable, consistent actions. Every day, discipline is practiced in countless small decisions. Waking up early, saying no to distractions, choosing effort over ease. These choices may seem insignificant alone, but their cumulative effect is enormous. Each moment you choose discipline, you reinforce your identity as someone capable of growth, resilience, and excellence. This identity then fuels further discipline, creating a powerful upward spiral of progress. Discipline becomes not a burden, but a source of freedom because it aligns your daily actions with your deepest aspirations. Resistance is inevitable. You will face fatigue, boredom, and temptation to quit. These moments test your discipline and your belief in your potential, but resistance is also a sign that you are growing, stretching beyond old limits. Every time you overcome resistance, you strengthen your mental muscles and deepen your commitment. This process rewires your brain to associate discipline with reward, not punishment, making it easier to maintain over time. The path beyond limits is paved with these victories over resistance. Discipline also requires compassion. It is not about perfection or harsh self-judgment when you stumble. Transformation is a process of trial and error, learning and adapting. When you treat yourself with kindness during setbacks, you preserve your motivation and prevent burnout. Compassion replenishes your energy and renews your focus, allowing you to return to disciplined action with clarity and determination. This balance between firmness and kindness creates sustainable discipline, fueling your journey beyond limits. Your potential is unlocked in the daily choices where discipline meets desire. It is cultivated in the consistent effort to honor your goals, even when the path is difficult. Discipline is the steady heartbeat of transformation, the force that turns dreams into reality. It is the expression of your commitment to becoming who you are meant to be. Embrace discipline as your ally. Let it guide your actions with purpose and compassion. In doing so, you build an unshakable foundation for growth that no obstacle can break. Your true potential awaits on the other side of discipline, ready to be unleashed with every deliberate step you take. Your mindset shapes every experience, every decision, every outcome. It is the lens through which you interpret the world and yourself. When your mindset is fixed, limited by fear, doubt, or old beliefs, your potential remains trapped within invisible walls. But when your mindset is expansive, open, and growth-focused, those walls dissolve, revealing a landscape rich with possibility. The power of your mind to shape your reality is not just a theory. It is a lived truth for anyone who chooses to harness it. Changing your mindset is not about denying challenges or ignoring fears. It is about transforming how you relate to them. Growth begins with belief, the deep, unshakable belief that you can change, evolve, and transcend your current limits. This belief acts like a compass, guiding your actions and decisions toward your highest potential. It is reinforced each time you choose effort over ease, courage over comfort. Your mindset is not a fixed trait. It is a dynamic process that grows stronger with every challenge you face and every lesson you learn. When you cultivate a mindset of possibility, you give yourself permission to explore, to fail, to try again, and to keep moving forward no matter what. The language you use with yourself shapes your mindset profoundly. Words are more than sounds. They are seeds planted in your mind. Affirmations, positive self-talk, and reframing negative thoughts are tools that help you cultivate a resilient, empowering mindset. Instead of "I can't," shift to "I'm learning" or "I will find a way." Instead of "this is too hard," choose "this challenge is helping me grow." These subtle shifts rewire your brain, turning obstacles into opportunities and setbacks into stepping stones. Your mindset becomes a powerful ally, guiding you toward transformation rather than holding you back. Resistance to change often comes from attachment to familiar thoughts and beliefs, even if they limit you. This attachment creates a mental barrier to growth. Breaking through requires conscious awareness and intentional effort. When you notice limiting thoughts, do not fight them or suppress them. Instead, observe them with curiosity and choose to replace them with beliefs that serve your potential. This practice rewires neural pathways, making new ways of thinking natural and automatic over time. It is the mental training ground where your transformation is born. Your mindset also influences your emotional experience. A growth mindset fosters resilience, hope, and motivation, even in the face of setbacks. It creates an inner environment where failure is not a threat, but a teacher, where discomfort signals progress instead of defeat. This emotional strength sustains you through difficult times and fuels your commitment to growth. When you shift your mindset, you shift your emotional landscape, unlocking a wellspring of courage and determination. The transformation beyond limits begins in the mind. When you choose to cultivate a mindset of growth, belief, and resilience, you step into your true power. Your potential is not fixed, it expands with your mindset. Commit to nurturing this mindset daily through your thoughts, words, and actions. Let it be the foundation upon which you build your journey beyond limits and watch as your reality transforms in response. Action is the heartbeat of transformation. No matter how clear your vision or how powerful your mindset, without action, potential remains dormant. Taking deliberate steps moves you from dreaming to doing, from wanting to becoming. Action is not always grand or dramatic. Often, it is small, consistent decisions made with intention. These moments accumulate, building momentum that propels you beyond limits. The courage to act, especially when fear and doubt whisper to stay still, is where true growth begins. Inaction breeds regret, doubt, and frustration. The gap between where you are and where you want to be narrows only through movement. Every step taken, no matter how imperfect, sends a signal to your mind and body that you are committed to change. This signal sparks motivation and reinforces your identity as someone who moves forward despite challenges. Action transforms hope into progress and ideas into reality. Without it, even the strongest desire remains an unfulfilled wish. Fear often stands in the way of action, disguising itself as reason or caution. It tells you to wait, to prepare more, or to avoid risk. But growth requires stepping into discomfort. Action is the antidote to fear because it interrupts the cycle of overthinking and paralysis. Each act of courage, however small, weakens fear's grip and builds confidence. The momentum from these acts becomes unstoppable, breaking through self-imposed barriers and expanding what you believe is possible. Consistency in action is more important than perfection. Waiting for the perfect moment or flawless plan keeps you stuck. Transformation happens in the messy middle, through trial, error, and persistence. When you commit to regular action, even on difficult days, you develop resilience and adaptability. This resilience is the muscle that carries you through obstacles, setbacks, and unexpected challenges. It turns temporary struggles into stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. Action also requires accountability to yourself first and foremost. Owning your choices and their consequences creates a powerful feedback loop that sharpens your focus and fuels growth. When you take responsibility for your actions, you reclaim control over your journey. This empowerment diminishes victim mentality and cultivates an internal locus of control, the belief that you shape your destiny through your decisions. With this mindset, limits begin to fall away. The energy generated by action is contagious. It ignites passion, enthusiasm, and creativity. Momentum builds naturally as you move forward, attracting new opportunities and resources. Your efforts ripple outward, influencing your environment and relationships positively. This synergy creates a powerful ecosystem of growth that sustains transformation long term. Understand that every action, no matter how small, carries weight. Each choice to move forward is a declaration of faith in your potential and commitment to your evolution. Embrace action as the vehicle that drives your journey beyond limits. Let it be the force that turns intention into reality, fear into courage, and potential into power. You are not meant to wait passively for change. You are meant to act boldly, persistently, and purposefully. The path beyond limits is forged by those who dare to take the first step, and then the next, and the next. Step into that power now. Your true potential is unlocked through action. Every journey beyond limits demands sacrifice. Growth requires letting go of comfort, of certainty, of old habits that no longer serve your evolution. Sacrifice is not about loss alone. It is about choosing what matters most and being willing to pay the price to claim it. The willingness to sacrifice short-term pleasure or ease for long-term fulfillment is a hallmark of those who break free from constraints. It is the conscious decision to prioritize your future self over immediate gratification. Sacrifice challenges your attachments. It asks you to examine what holds you back, whether it is toxic relationships, limiting routines, or self-doubt masquerading as safety. Recognizing these attachments is the first step, but release requires courage and clarity. The discomfort that arises from sacrifice is a sign of transformation, a signal that you are shedding what no longer aligns with your highest potential. This discomfort is temporary, yet its reward is lasting: freedom to grow, create, and thrive without the chains of old limitations. When you embrace sacrifice, you redefine your values. What you once tolerated or settled for becomes unacceptable. Your standards rise because your vision for your life becomes clearer and stronger. Sacrifice sharpens focus, eliminating distractions and draining energies. It channels your commitment into purposeful actions that align with your deepest aspirations. This alignment transforms struggle into meaningful effort and pain into a catalyst for change. Sacrifice is also deeply tied to discipline. It reinforces the commitment to keep going when motivation fades. It is the fuel that sustains you through challenges, the quiet voice reminding you why you started. When you accept sacrifice as part of the process, you build resilience that endures beyond momentary setbacks. You develop the grit to persist, adapt, and evolve, knowing that the temporary discomfort paves the way to extraordinary growth. The emotional toll of sacrifice can be heavy, but it is balanced by the emotional reward of progress and self-respect. Each sacrifice made is an investment in your future, an act of self-love that honors your potential. This creates a powerful emotional feedback loop. The more you sacrifice, the stronger your commitment becomes, and the clearer your vision grows. This clarity motivates further sacrifice, deepening your journey beyond limits. Remember, sacrifice is not about deprivation or punishment. It is about conscious choice and intentional living. It is the ability to say no to what dims your light and yes to what elevates your life. This choice empowers you to create a reality aligned with your true self, rather than one dictated by fear or habit. The path of sacrifice is difficult, but it is the gateway to freedom, mastery, and fulfillment. Your true potential demands this commitment. It requires you to be selective with your time, energy, and focus. Sacrifice is the price of greatness, and greatness is your birthright. When you accept this truth, you move beyond limits, not by avoiding sacrifice, but by embracing it fully. Let sacrifice be your ally, your guide, and your testament to the power within you. In this willingness to let go, you unlock the strength to rise beyond every boundary and claim the life you are destined to live. Your environment shapes more than your daily routine. It molds your mindset, habits, and ultimately your potential. Surrounding yourself with energy that elevates, supports, and challenges you is essential for growth beyond limits. Toxic environments drain your spirit and reinforce limiting beliefs, while empowering spaces inspire courage and ignite possibility. The company you keep, the information you consume, and the spaces you inhabit all influence the direction of your transformation. Choosing your environment with intention is not optional. It is a critical step toward unlocking your true power. Growth demands an environment that reflects your highest values and vision. This means letting go of influences that breed doubt, negativity, or complacency. It requires courage to distance yourself from people or patterns that anchor you to old limits. This act of curation is an expression of self-respect, a declaration that your potential deserves fertile ground to flourish. The right environment nurtures your resilience and fuels your motivation by consistently reminding you of what is possible. Your surroundings can either reinforce old habits or break them down. When you create a space that encourages action, discipline, and reflection, you give yourself permission to evolve.